Introducing Surfrider for Modulated Spring Reverberator from SolidGoldFX. Welcome to Music Gears, where we bring you the latest info on new music instruments, software, and other gear from around the world. The Surfrider 4 brings the surf and sand in a ground-up redesign that packs 3 distinct spring tank emulations, based on some of our favorite vintage spring-laden pieces. The available reverb modes include a tight tank, based on our 60s Reverberocket, the classic splash of our early silver panel Super Reverb, and our SGFX fantasy tank, with a slightly exaggerated drip and decay for when you want Misirlou to sound certifiably otherworldly. Housed in a compact package, with expanded controls and added features like soft touch bypass switching with trails, selectable momentary or latching modulation, and top-mounted jacks, the Surfrider 4 is guaranteed to satisfy like a cool breeze in the sweltering heat. Main features: compact spring reverb pedal with modulation, 3 distinct spring reverb tank emulations. Reverberocket, left, small and tight tank based on Spring Reverb, found low-watt vintage combos and tape units. Super Reverb, center, classic 60s surf rock Spring Reverb. Fantasy Reverb, right, spring tank pushed to the limits with floppier springs and longer trails. Flutter-style modulation of the reverb trails, switchable between momentary or latching via internal dip switch. Multifunction foot switch switches the pedal on/off when tapped and engages flutter modulation when held down. Compact enclosure and top-mounted jacks for ease of pedalboard mounting. Switchable trails/buffered bypass, selectable via internal dip switch. Handmade in Montreal, Canada. Powered by a regular 9V DC PSU, center dash, 2.1 mm, 65 mA current draw. Sometimes the sequel is just better than the original, and that's okay. It shows that the creator has learned something since The Last Dance, and boy have we learned a lot about Spring Reverb since our last Surfrider. Therefore, we're not afraid to admit that this is the best spring reverb pedal we've ever made. We just can't wait for you to tap into all of the splashing, crashing, and drippy magic inside our latest Surfrider 6. Whether you add just a touch for a little extra depth and space, or if you like your rig soaking wet and dripping with the sounds of a crashing waves, nothing quite captures the vibe of surf and summer like a good spring tank. The pedal comes jam-packed with 3 distinct spring reverb tanks, selectable via the 3-position toggle, each carefully crafted to give you the ultimate spring reverb experience. Reverberocket. Modeled after the shorter spring tanks found on our own 62 Reverberocket and Space Echo, the Reverberocket is designed to add depth and space to your sound, without soaking your rig. This tighter tank is crafted to emphasize the warmth of your guitar while maintaining a smooth and subtle spring reverb tail. Super Reverb, delivering the classic splash of our favorite 4x10 Fender, the Super Reverb is the ultimate amp-style spring reverb emulation. Wider tails that bounce back and forth with that unmistakable metallic twerp. So get ready to be drenched in that classic 60s sound. Fantasy Reverb, put on your board shorts and dive into the Fantasy Reverb. If you like it soaking wet, dripping with verb and splashy like a crashing wave, this is the one for you. A spring reverb where each characteristic of the attack and tail is pushed to physically impossible limits. Exaggerated decay, floppier springs, and a thicker body are all there when you need to go to 11. Surfrider IV's decay knob sets the amount of time your signal bounces back and forth in the spring tank. If you turn it up all the way, your signal will clang, twerp, and bounce with a huge tail. Level controls the volume of the reverb, wet signal, while the dwell control adjusts how lively your spring tank will be. Turn it up all the way and get lost in the clangy ambience that a spring tank is famous for. Alternatively, just turn it down to get a warmer verb, while the body control sets how chunky the reverb is. Looking for a huge, echoey tail? Crank it all the way up. Want the reverberations to cut through the mix? Turn it down. Want to add even more movement to your surfing tones? Well, Surfrider 4 also has you covered. The multifunction foot switch not only turns the pedal on or off, but when held down will activate a mild pitch modulation. Internal dip switches set the function of the bypass and modulation. The speed and depth of the modulation can also be adjusted to taste. Please like this video if you found it helpful, and if you'd like to stay informed on the latest in music gear releases and limited time discount offers, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.